Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. We're glad you're here. Like that smash button and subscribe to this channel.
Yep. Also, smash that podcast down below in the description. Need you to subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies.
Butcherbox.com/ham, John. Two pounds of free beef in every box for the lifetime of your membership.
Yep. Butcherbox.com/ham. Get yourself some free ground beef.
All right. How about this piece of information from NFL reporter Jeremy Fowler of ESPN? This deep in his ESPN Plus article. Garoppolo market appears to be slow right now. Teams that I've talked to have a legitimate concern about the shoulder surgery and what that might mean for the offseason and the 2022 campaign. Trey Lance has gotten the full impression behind the scenes that he will start in 2022. What does that mean to us? Full impression.
Guy, as a married man, what would you say one of the keys to your marriage is? One word.
Emptying the trash?
Communication. Communication. Oh. I think communication. I think for the most part, ladies are better at communicating than guys. And one thing in a professional setting, and you and I worked in an office setting once upon a time together, and when communication doesn't run as streamlined well, things can get out of whack fast. And I would say that would be in any office, let alone offices where you're paying people a lot of money in a public job like the NFL. And I think sometimes when you see a trade or when you see a cut and then something happens after, like, nobody talked to me. No one said this. I was promised one thing and then given another. It can just create animosity sometimes, might even be the wrong word. It can just get weird fast. And I think the key is for a guy who's never proven anything, who has been paid, I think he got his contract $35 million guaranteed before he ever threw a pass. So they don't necessarily owe him anything, but there is a right way to do business. And I do think the moment you don't trade Jimmy, after Jimmy says goodbye, after John Lynch essentially has said goodbye, I would imagine all Trey's friends like, your time now, right? Mid-January or whenever their season ended. It would, if you were him, it'd be a little weird if no one said anything to you and you're just like, am I just going to be like Steve Young, be a backup for 4 years here? Like, that's what I'd be thinking if I was
right.
Him. If no one said, hey, Trey, this is, but how much are they really going to tell him? Like, they're not going to break down all the offers and where they're weighing it, right? So it's a delicate situation, guy. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I think camp is such a truth serum, right? Like, it's one thing at OTAs if Jimmy Garoppolo's not out there throwing, he can't throw. He's physically unable.
Do you expect him to be there if he's still on the roster with like a sling or whatever?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's very weird. But I will say the truth serum of camp is you tell me I'm the starter. Do I get all the snaps? You tell me Jimmy Garoppolo's gone. And yet when I look, there he is, right? If you want to talk about relationships, you can tell me you're going to do the dishes all you want. Oh, I got them later. Are the dishes clean or are the dishes in the sink? Like, there's only here or there. This wasn't
a famous 49er quarterback controversy. Steve kept being promised, yet Joe kept showing up and playing, right?
Well, the great parts about that's where Bill would like say to Steve, like, I don't get it. I thought his back was broken. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to give Trey Lance Jimmy Garoppolo's cleats too, right? He's not going to look down and be like, oh shit, number 10, like happened to Steve Young on his first day. But
here's some Travis Matthews shirts.
Here's a bunch of free hoodies. Everyone got one. All the linemen are getting free hoodies, but Jimmy's supposed to be on the Colts. Why is he sending all the linemen free hoodies? And obviously he's not going to be on the Colts. Actually, that was part of, I think, this story, another story, that there really was never much significant discussion between the 49ers and the Colts. But anyway, there is a difference between gotten the full impression. That's the phrase that Jeremy Fowler just used there, that Trey Lance has gotten the full impression and has been explicitly told, Trey, don't worry about it. Now, like you said, at that same time, until he's not on the team anymore, do you tell Trey Lance, Trey, don't worry about it. We're going to do whatever it takes to get rid of Jimmy. That story gets out and you have no leverage in a trade market. But, at this point, there's not much trade market or any leverage. So whatever. But I do go back to things that Kyle Shanahan has said in press conferences many times before, which is, I don't say what I don't have to say. Why would I ever say anything that I don't have to say?
To the media, not as players.
Yeah. 100% to the media. But it's also like, why would am I telling Trey Lance Jimmy Garoppolo is gone if Jimmy Garoppolo is still on this roster? Like, we're all planning for him to be gone. So, my question, and this is what I would ask Jeremy or what I would ask people, Kyle, what does gotten the full impression mean? Like, he gets what? Is it that they've told him like, hey man, you're the guy? And that's what because full impression is like, I get the impression that she likes me, but she hasn't said, I like you to me.
Well, one major difference I would say in pro sports than probably the overwhelming majority of industries is sometimes you talk through an agent to get to the player.
Sure.
Trey Lance, like I would say anyone watching this, your boss would just go to you. He wouldn't go through a third party. Like, let Billy know that not loving this work ethic, or let Billy know he's doing a great job. No, you just text the guy, hey man, appreciate that proposal. Look great. That's not sometimes how it works in football. And especially there are rules in the offseason, I think, about communicating, even though I think it's fair to say those get shattered on a daily basis with coaches and players. Trey Lance is represented by CAA, and Tom Condon, I think, is kind of phasing out, but Tom Condon's son and some of the other, like, they have all the sweet players, or at least a large percentage of them. So you are going to be in business with them. And I bet if we looked at the guys they have on the 49ers, I'd imagine of some of their top guys, they have a couple of them. So there is just a way to do business with someone that you're going to do a lot of business with for the foreseeable future. That I wonder if you're going through them. Like, listen, man, it's going to be fine. We're not going to make promises to you right now, but like, we drafted this guy for a reason.
Yeah.
They were, I know the agency, and just like a lot of people in the NFL, were thrilled that that's where Trey ended up. Like we said last year, all these guys, looking back, I mean, Trevor Lawrence should have begged. I mean, we'll see. Now he's got Doug Peterson, which might save his career, but Zach Wilson, all these guys should have begged to go to Kyle Shanahan.
And receivers should want to go to Kyle Shanahan or Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, or right? Like,
yeah. Running backs, probably not Kyle.
Running backs, if you're like a 6th rounder, you'd want to go to Kyle, right? If you have to make your career, you'd want to go to Kyle. If you're a 1st rounder and you already got paid, you just want to get to that 2nd contract, Kyle will get you hurt by year 2. Yeah. You don't want that. But yeah, if you're an elite offensive prospect, if you're a quarterback, you should want to play for one of these guys, or Andy Reid, or whatever. Like, there's a growing list of these guys.
Wouldn't you say, of all the young quarterbacks that got drafted, right? Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. Mac started for a playoff team last year. Now he's a young player. He's going to want to improve. But I would put him in a different category than the other 4. Like, OTAs for those 4 are enormous, right? Justin Fields had a weird, his team was bad. He was hit or miss. He got injured. Zach Wilson, as you said, was on a previous podcast, was terrible last year in terms of catching radius. Did you hear
Coach K? I think it was the worst, the least accurate, or like the widest spread in terms of like where he threw the ball relative to his receivers. Yeah.
Coach K said he sucked?
No, Coach K, somebody said, you said on your podcast. He's like, it's not a podcast. It's a show. It's a show. Nothing against podcasts, but it's a show.
We're proud to be a podcast. Trevor Lawrence was, I would say, for a guy that was billed at his level, right? The next Andrew Luck, the next Shaquille O'Neal, the next Bryce Harper. I mean, he was held to a level of prospects that, it's a short list, was pretty terrible. Though the OTAs for all these guys, and I'm putting Trey in there too, is enormous. Like, whoever is covering that team, talking about that team, fan of those 4 teams, like, ultimately Mac Jones is just going to like, hey, he's still the starter, he's fine. They're just going to dump it off. Those guys going to be like, how's he look? How's he look? How's he look? How's he look? Right? All 4 games.
Those are external circumstances. I'd say for all 5, it's just an example of how hard it is to be a rookie quarterback. Mac Jones, for all the stability in New England, 2nd coordinator now in his 2nd year. Trevor Lawrence, 2nd head coach in his 2nd year. Bears, 2nd coach in 2nd year. Jets, actually stability, except they're the Jets, but stability. And then here's Trey, stable organization, but it's just a weird situation. He was not the only quarterback that was getting instruction last year. In fact, he was well down the list, right? Starting quarterback gets all the reps.
He's got new voices in his ear, right?
And he's got new voices.
Gone, Greasy out of the booth.
Brian
Mike
Greasy
McDaniel
just ripped
gone.
off the tie. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Brian Greasy. It's the quarterback room.
Anthony Lynn's, going to have some takes, right?
So a lot of instability is, even in stable situations, kind of the story for young quarterbacks, and handling all of that is part of their job. And this is being told you're the starting quarterback, getting the impression you're the starting quarterback. The job is the same for Trey Lance, and what he has to prove, he has to go prove it. And earn is either literal if you're not truly the starter, or kind of figurative. Like even if you're given the starting job, you still have to earn kind of the, becoming a franchise quarterback. You don't just become one because you're the only one there.
I can't speak on the other situations in terms of like how they're truly covered on a day-to-day basis. Having been to the Jimmy Trey extravaganza last year, I know this. OTAs,
many times.
Especially because Trey's going to get, Jimmy's not, even if he's on the roster, he's not possible to throw. Every single throw is going to be accounted for and reported on, and accuracy each day and how he's looking. And it's going to be a very serious, and there's going to be a lot of interest behind it. I saw it last year. We saw it last year. Everyone watching this probably read about it or watched it online about it last year. I would say it's going to get amped up this year, right?
Yeah.
Trey was 10 of 20 today. It was an ugly day, right? There's a lot of that.
Yep.
And he's not just a rookie. It's like, oh, it's his first OTA, right? It's second-year guy. The pressure is going to just amplify, which is fun, which is what the whole point of this whole thing is.